What's up, guys? It's Mike here, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you a few of my best Facebook ad tips. I've been running Facebook ads for the past couple of years. I've probably spent around $100,000 on Facebook ads in this past year alone, and I want to show you what's working and what's not working. Let's jump on in. So I'm going to kick this off by going through a few Facebook ad examples of what not to do. And in this presentation, I'm going to be specifically focusing on the real estate agent niche. Now, what we'll be covering today is going to apply to just about every high ticket service. So if you're selling a course, if you're selling some type of coaching program, some type of mastermind, all the information I'm going to be covering here will still apply to these products. I chose a real estate agent because I was actually in the market for one these past couple of months, moved to Mexico. I was looking for a real estate agent, so just something that popped in my mind recently. So that's what we're going to use here. So first, let's cover some ads and what not to do. So I Googled real estate agent Facebook ad, and here were some of the top ones that popped up. And the big pattern that you're going to notice across these three is all of them look like an ad. All right, that's what most people think when they go, okay, I'm going to create a Facebook ad. They go and they make something and they try to make it look like an ad. You actually want to do the opposite, right? Like in this day and age, when you're scrolling on Facebook or really anywhere, right? Any platform, watching TV, we are so overwhelmed by advertisements. We see so many of them. Our brain just doesn't even process them most of the time, right? We like train our brain to ignore these advertisements. Like if this pops up in your newsfeed, most of the time, it's like you don't even see it. Your eyes will go to this ad and your brain won't even process it. You will immediately recognize this as an ad and continue scrolling. So that's the first big problem that I see when people start with Facebook ads is they think they have to make their ad look like an ad, whereas we want to actually do the exact opposite. So right now, I'm going to break this into two parts. We're going to talk about the image of the ad, and then we're going to talk about the text. So the image is arguably the most important part, and here's why. Check this out. It's pretty cool, right? So your eyes immediately went right toward that white box with the black writing. And now this looks extremely similar to this Facebook ad, right? So the image is where our eyes go first. It's the first thing we see. And if we see something like this, our brain processes this as, okay, boom, this is an ad. I don't want to look at this. I'm going to keep scrolling. So in our ad, we want to choose an image that captures someone's attention and it looks native to the platform. So we want our image to look like it belongs on Facebook, right? We want people scrolling through, and people go to Facebook, they look for, their friends' pictures, their family's pictures, whatever it might be. We want our image to look like it belongs on Facebook, and we want our image to stop someone in their tracks. We want to get someone's attention with our image. We do not want our image to look like an ad. Now, check this out. This is also going to help us determine, what's going to go into our image. This is pretty cool. I'm going to pull up the next screen, and there's going to be a bunch of images. And don't resist anything, but just see where your eyes naturally go. Okay, now I bet you that your eyes naturally went right to the woman right in the middle. And you might be saying, well, of course it went there because it's placed perfectly in the middle. But watch this. Where'd your eyes go now? They drifted to that left, right? This is just human nature. Our eyes want to go toward another human face, right? We see these eyes, we see this face, and that is where we are going to look. It's just part of our nature. We are going to look at another human. We're going to look at their face. And it's not to say that these other images are boring or there's nothing interesting about them, right? Like there's a jet ski in the bottom. There's this like apple, like weird door thing, a waterfall, a bunch of very unique, very interesting images. But there's something about another human's face that just naturally attracts our attention, right? It just gravitates our attention there. And so that's what we want to leverage in our Facebook ads. Now, it's not completely necessary, but you will notice that most winning ads on Facebook, they have a face. That's because one, us as humans, that's where we want to look. And Facebook also likes this, right? Facebook has a bunch of pictures of people That's what Facebook wants. It doesn't want, some spammy image or an image of a product, something that looks like an ad. Facebook likes pictures of faces. So that's the first big piece of advice, is include a face in your image. So that's something that all of these ads actually got right. Like when I pop this up, your eyes probably go right to her face. Same thing here. Boom, goes right to that guy. Pretty cool how that works, right? Same thing right here. Boom, your eyes go right to his face. Very interesting. We're going to shift this over to the next part where we are going to talk a little bit more about the message now. So we know we want in our image, we want a picture of a face. We want something interesting, right? Something unique, something that's going to grab attention. And now we want to talk about the message. So once we get someone's attention, they look at the image. The next place their eyes are going to go are to the headline and the first line of the ad. And we have this split second to get their attention, to keep their attention actually. And a couple things we have to do in our message is we have to talk to a specific person, right? There's this principle, when you're talking to everyone, you're really talking to no one. And that's a very common pitfall that I see. Like you'll see it in a bunch of these ads here, like the one in the middle, Austin's top real estate agent. Like that is just talking to every single person. And I'm not picking on these 3 ads, right? I'm sure they're doing great, but with something that we can't do in our ads, we can't afford to do. We can't afford to speak to every single person. We need to figure out who our target audience is. We need to deeply understand them and then speak directly to that person. So the first thing we have to do, if we want to talk directly to one specific person, we have to define who that is, right? We need to get super detailed and specific with who we want to talk to. And we don't want to cast this wide net, right? We want to really draw out this picture of our perfect customer. We want to understand them deeply, right? Understand their pains, understand their desires, their hobbies, their language, what they do, everything about them. So for this example, like I said, I chose a real estate agent because I was actually in the market for a real estate agent. I just moved to Mexico a few months ago. So if I am the target audience, right? I'm a male, 26 years old, moving from the US to Mexico. Some of my pains in this situation are I've never made this move before. I'm a foreigner. Like, I don't know what areas are good. I don't really know how the real estate market works in Mexico. Like, I don't want to get scammed. Like, I kind of speak Spanish, but not really. I just have no idea where to start. I don't know what I don't know. I'm coming to this new country and I'm trying to find a long-term rental. There's just like so much uncertainty, so much I don't know. My desires, I just want a nice, like a high-end apartment, something in a nice area, somewhere I can feel safe, somewhere, there's probably other Americans there, just like a good area, good apartment. You should even go way deeper than that. But just for the sake of this video, that's our target audience, right? It's me a few months ago while I'm looking for a new apartment in Mexico. With this, like I said, the first place they're going to look, the image. The next thing is the headline and the first line of the ad. So we literally have less than a second to convince someone that our ad is worth reading, right? Everyone's attention span right now is so quick, so quick. Someone's going to read your first line of your ad, and after that, they're going to decide, okay, is this ad worth me continuing to read, or am I going to keep scrolling, right? People are scrolling so fast through their newsfeed, and we have an instant to convince them that our ad is worth reading. So we want to go ahead and we want to talk right to them on that first line, right? Most people in this market, they would start off like, hey, my name is Joe and I'm a real estate agent. No one cares, all right? You have to get that through your head. When we're writing ads, the person on the other side of the screen, they really only care about themselves, right? We're all in our own little world, our own little bubble. We care about our own problems, our own desires. If your ad starts out with, something about you, talking about, hey, I have 10 years of experience, don't care. Scroll, I'm on to the next one. Unless you talk right to me and you're saying like, hey, this thing about you, like this pain, this desire, and it actually impacts me, that's how you get my attention. You can't talk about yourself in the ad. You can't talk about, the house that you have, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to sell. You have to talk directly to that person. And it's so key to understand that person because, if you're showing an ad to me, you're going to want to say something completely different than if we are trying to rent a property to, a 44-year-old local Mexican woman, right? That language is going to be so different. So it's super important that you understand exactly who you're talking to, so that way you can speak directly to them. Here's just a quick little ad that I put together, right? I was thinking, what were my pains? What were my desires? And how would I speak directly to me so that I would read that first sentence and I would be hooked, right? That's the job of this first sentence. It's called the hook because we want to hook someone in. We literally have one line to convince them to continue reading. And you'll notice the image. There's a face in the bottom corner. Awesome to have. It's like this cool pool setting in the background, some nice nature there. It just has like a nice vibe to it. It'll catch my attention. Then I look at the headline, I look at that first line, and both of them are captivating, right? Don't fall for these 5 mistakes when renting in Mexico. I see that and I'm like, whoa, like I'm about to rent in Mexico. Maybe this is something that I should read. Take a look at that first line. 95% of Americans overpay when renting in Mexico. It's like, okay, you got me. Like, I want to know more. It didn't say like, hey, I'm Ricky and I rent houses in Mexico. That's not what it says because don't care. Keep going. Or it didn't have this like big picture of here's my real estate logo. Nope, I'm going to keep scrolling. This spoke right to me and it got my attention. Like, I am absolutely hooked. I am in. So now let's talk about the body. So the image is the first thing that people see. That's what gets them to look at the headline, gets them to look at the first line of text. The first line of text has to speak directly to them and it has to convince them this is worth continuing to read. Now, what do we want to do in the body? Well, first, it has to flow off the hook, right? Can't just have a hook and then boom, completely different story. So we have to continue to flow. And a lot of times in the beginning, we're going to bring up some type of problem, right? We're going to bring up the pain points of our customer. In this case, what I did here is most Americans overpay when renting in Mexico, and we're talking about mistakes when renting in Mexico. So it deals with this like, oh, you're an American, you're moving to Mexico, there's a lot of uncertainty with renting, you don't want to overpay. These are the problems. In the first few lines, call it first 5 to 10 lines, we want to agitate those pain points, right? Bring up those pain points and really kind of, stick a little spear in them a little bit. Bring up those pain points and remind that customer why those pain points are there. Remind them how those pain points feel. In this case, we want to talk about that, like uncertainty of renting in a new country. Most people might overpay. We're going to kind of dig into these pain points a little bit. And then from there, we want to take those pain points and guide them to the obvious solution to those pain points. And that solution should be the action step that you want them to take. You don't want to take them right to the end product. You don't want to say, okay, so rent right now, pick up the phone and you're going to rent this place. That's not what it is. We have to take them, one step at a time. And most of the time it's going to be apply to my email list or, reach out with me. Let's talk over the phone, send me an email. Like, you want them to take that first step. For most services, most online products, if you're selling a course, you're selling coaching, a lot of times you're going to offer what's called a lead magnet. And that's where someone exchanges their information, right? Their email address, their name, and you give them some piece of information. You give them some training, something of that form. And now you want to agitate the pain points here and you want to introduce your lead magnet, whatever you have to give them, right? Maybe it's an article that you wrote, some piece of content, maybe it's a video. You want to introduce that thing as the obvious solution to the problem that you just presented. So let's see exactly how I do it in this case. So it starts off, 95% of Americans overpay when renting in Mexico. Like, boom, great hook. It has my attention. I'm going to keep reading. And it goes on and says, because they don't understand how the market works here. Once again, that just completely resonates with me. Like, I don't understand how the market works in Mexico. Like, this is talking to Americans or people international who are moving to Mexico. Then it goes on and says, I've been working with first-time Mexican residents for over 10 years, and I've seen it all. International travelers paying nearly double the price of locals, getting ripped off in the fine print of a Spanish contract, renting a beautiful apartment that just so happens to be in the worst section of town, and dozens more of these downfalls. Okay, so a couple things I want to break down here. First thing is that third line right there. It says, I've been working with first-time Mexican residents for over 10 years, and I've seen it all. Notice how that's the only line that is talking about me as the writer, right? As the writer, you don't want to go on and just list all your accolades and just say like me, here's all this stuff about me, because once again, no one cares, right? People just care about their problems. People care about themselves, their pains, their desires. Everyone's living in their own little bubble. So here, they say, I've been doing this for 10 years. That gains a little trust, but don't take it too far. You don't want to talk about yourself for too long. And then it gets into these pain points, right? International travelers paying nearly double the price of locals, getting ripped off in the fine print of a Spanish contract, renting a beautiful apartment in the worst section of town. Like that is digging into those pain points. And me as, a foreigner renting in Mexico, when these things are said, I feel that a little bit. It's like, oh, I don't want to get ripped off in the fine print of a Spanish contract. Like, could that happen to me? Like, oh, what if, that cool apartment I saw that looked amazing, what if that is in the worst section of town? Like all these things that it starts to dig into these pain points that I have. So let's continue. And dozen more of these downfalls. In this short post, I'll reveal to you the 5 most common mistakes that first-time Mexico renters make and how you can avoid them. You can check it out here. So once again, we're transitioning from these pain points to presenting the obvious solution, which is our thing, right? The thing we're giving them, be it a lead magnet, a blog post, a training, anything, right? Whatever our thing is, we want to present the problem, dig into the pain points, and then boom, what we're offering is the solution. There's a little bonus at the end that reveals how you can get access to the same deals that locals have. Look at that, a little cherry on top too. So if I wasn't already ready to click, now I am. This is an absolute must read for any American moving to Mexico. If you have any questions about renting in Mexico, feel free to reach out. And then you drop the sign off at the end. So this is an ad, it didn't take me too long to write. You can definitely write something better. But I just wanted to give you some general principles and how you can apply them to your Facebook ads. Now, like I said, this can apply to really any niche, right? This works really well for high ticket products, even digital products, courses, masterminds, coaching, consulting, anything like that. Take this knowledge and apply these to your Facebook ads. I hope you guys got a ton of value from this. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know if you want to see more of these videos or what other videos you want to see in the comment section. See you guys in the next one.